Welcome back to Quack's Art Studios. I'm Trevor, the creative guy behind Quack's Art Studios, where creativity meets purpose. Here we design visuals that talk, from board graphic designing to meaningful stories and visuals. With a touch of perfection and satisfaction, we turn imagination into impact. Stick around, let's create something that speaks. So, today we're just going to talk about another principle of graphic designing, which is typography. This is the critical principle of graphic designing. When you talk about typography, it simply means the fonts or font styles that you are using in the graphic. So we have two types of fonts. These are the main categories, whereby the first one is the sans serif and the second is serif font. So when you talk about serif font, these are fonts that has some protrusion at the end. For example, let's look at this. So when we are talking about the serif fonts, it means that at the end of each letter, they have this kind of protrusion. For example, if you look at this S, they have this side, these things, which determines that the first thing is serif. While when you're talking of the sans serif, they don't have those kind of projections. So the other types of fonts that we have is the scripts, which are just like the signatures. They are stylish in nature. Then we have what we call the handwriting. This is also another type of font. So these are kind of just the main types of font that you're going to be seeing most of times when you're designing. So the other type of the font is the calligraphy. Calligraphy, this is just a font that is also stylish when you're using. So let's just go to PixelLab and let me show what I mean when I say sans serif or serif fonts. Sorry, this I was just working on it for this other class. So when you're talking of the sans serif, let's start with serif fonts. So if you look at this font, this is sans serif because it doesn't have those projections. But if we want it to be a sans serif, that means it'll be a serif font. A sans serif, it will look like this. So this is just a sans serif font. This is a sans serif font. The first one is a serif font because it has some projection at the end. When you look at these things, these are the projection which are determining that the font that we're using is serif. While this one doesn't have those projection at the end, it's a sans serif. Then we have handwriting. So these are fonts that they look like a person has lights. For example, let's talk of this. This is a font that a person can write. It's nature if you look at it. Then we have the script font. Script font there, like signature nature. For example, we can talk of it. This is the script font. So these things, you need to know where to use them when you are designing. So as we proceed, serif fonts are good for headlines because they are bold and quick as you are using them, or you can use them also in scripts or in scripts. Let's say you have a long paragraph, that means also you can use the serif font. But main posters, you can't reuse this and serif. It just depends on what you are creating. So what you are working on will determine also the kind of fonts that you are using. For example, you're designing some fancy flyer or banner, or poster, for any kind of poster. Let's say talking about a salon or a bakery. You can use the stylish fonts which are scripts, especially maybe for the salon. So the work that you're working on will also determine which fonts you need to use. So this also takes us to parts of the design. So when you're every time that you're working on design, you need to know that there are three main types, whereby there is a headline, and there is a subheadline, and there's a body. And also in addition, there's a call. Every flyer, every poster that you make need to have a call to action. So the headline, this is short and precise. It has to be very brief. Why? Because that's the main thing carrying the whole story. Remember that when you're designing, every poster carries a message. You are communicating. So the headline must be short. In other way, it has to be smart. In a way that it has to be specific. It has to be relevant. So as you are designing, make sure you follow all these critical principles, because you can design something, but if you breach some of the principles, then that design is useless. So right now we're just going to talk about the templates, the template loose. Template loose, this just shows the simplicity of your design. If the design is not inviting, don't think people will be willing to see that design, or will be willing to purchase whatever you are selling, or grasp the message that you are telling. So template loose, there are 5 template loose. The first template loose is template number 1, whereby the text is aligned at the left and the graphical elements are aligned at the right side of your canvas. And law number 2, template law number 2, is that the text is at the right and the graphical element is at the left. It's just the direct opposite of template law number 1. Template law number 3, the text is above and the graphical element is below. Template law number 4, the text is below and the graphical element or any object that you're using is above that text. And the final type of template rule is the integrated system of template rules, whereby it's a combination of all the 4 templates, starting from template rule number 1 up to template rule number 4. So just a quick example. I'll just show you just a quick example. Let's use the sans serif font. We'll use this one. So I try to change the message just using this codes already existing in the PixelLab. I'll reduce the size. Yeah, it just disappeared. I will bring it back. So this is our text. So this is our text. What we're going to do, we're going to demonstrate how this template rules apply. Template rule number 1, we said that the text will be at the left and the graphical element or object that we're using is going to be at the right. So I'm just going to take, let's try to set one image so that it can illustrate what I'm saying. So let's just use this watch. So it means that whatever you are designing, your object will be at the right and your text at the left. So this is template rule number 1. While template rule number 2, we say the object graphical element will be at the right, and the text will be at the left. So this is template rule number 2. Template rule number 3, we said that the text will be above and the object will be below. It means that our object will be below and the text will be above. The text will be above and the element will be below. And template rule number 4 is just the opposite of this. It means text will be below and the graphical element will be above. Template rule number 5, that means you can combine. That means text, maybe you can use text below and this text as well, you can use it this side. That means you have combined the rules, which is rule number 1 and rule number 3, whereby the text is below and at the left, and the object is at the right as well as above. So this is just a combination of template rules. So it doesn't matter, you can combine 3 template rules or 4, all of them at once. That means if here is 4, that means your text will be here, and then your object and your text, you can choose to bring it on top. Let's say let's just try something. I know I have not introduced you to the how to work the tools, but we are going there so soon. Just stick around and let's create something that speaks. So that means you're combining all of them, all the rules, all the template rules on a single design. That means you're combining them. That's how you deal with the template rules. So right now we're just going to look at the other types of fonts, not types but examples of fonts. So there are different examples of fonts. So these things I've downloaded it from Kenny Song. He is a brand designer. So as you can look, these are all just sans serif fonts. They are not serif. Why? Because they don't have those projections. So every font has a unique name, because you can create a font and you can sell it online. So you can choose a name to give that font. Other people use their names, others just select some random names to give their fonts that they have created. Even your handwriting, you can sell that. It's just a matter of being creative. So these are just some examples of the sans serif fonts. I'll show you how you can download this kind of fonts, which websites, and how to use them as well.